walk in the shadow, you can see where you're going. There's light in there. But if I just painted that really dark, to me, it would just look like a black hole. But this is actually what happens in nature. You have to think about, when you're landscape painting, how light is bouncing around, how light is bouncing around. Oh, I don't care about that. I didn't get any red in there, so we'll just leave it. See, if I am forced, I can do it for you. Sometimes I'll even, when I put it in, sometimes I'll take maybe a dark, see, and just drop a dark in there. Can you see what I'm doing? But you see how this, it looks a little more lively, doesn't it? In a photo, it's really just flat, dark, isn't it? Ah, there's a trick, I'll tell you a trick. So many artists say to me, you can't work from photography because what's in the shadow, you can't see what's in the shadow. Yes, you can. Hold it up to a bright light. You'd be amazed what you can see inside the shadow. But it works best with a hard copy instead of a Xerox copy, for example.
It also works good on iPhoto, photo elements.
Oh, you're way, what? Huh? Oh, I'm sorry, Frank. I believe you, though. I really believe you. Okay, that's good enough. So, when my students looked at this photo, see, it drove them crazy. They didn't like that. They didn't like the shadow at all. And maybe because there isn't anything on the ground, so let's just for giggles put a shadow down there and see what happens. Olive green is another color that I rediscovered too that I've been using. So here I'm using some olive green and ultramarine blue. If I mix my greens, I like ultramarine blue because it's got a lot of purple in it. And so when you mix it with yellow, they're complements. So therefore you don't get, as bright a green. If you take cerulean blue and say lemon yellow, they both have green in it. So it makes a very, very brilliant green. Same with purple. I can take alizarin and ultramarine blue mixed together. I get a very, very bright purple. Because both of those colors have purple in it. So, that's my color study. Big deal. You can make all these little squares and stuff and then put them away in a drawer somewhere. But my color study is simple. And so what I do is that if I want a purple and I don't want it quite as purple, then I like to take ultramarine blue and I mix it with cadmium red light. Cadmium red light is more to the orange. Orange and blue are complements. So I get a little duller purple. Right? That's my big study color for you. How's that? Okay, I'm just gonna, let's just see what happens. I'm gonna put a shadow down here and just see if that makes a difference. That's a terrible color. Yeah, so maybe that makes a difference now. Maybe it makes a little more sense if you see a little shadow there. Is there anything really particular you want to see on this, or am I doing okay, Maria?
I'd like to see that doorway done.
Yeah, what about the door?
This door here?
No, the door.
This one?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So again, I'm going to take some CAD red light.
What color is it?
Hmm?
What color is the door supposed to be? You haven't.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's a dark. It's the same color as the barn, as the all-over color of the barn.
Except it's got a white trim.
Exactly. So. So now I'll take, maybe I'll put, you might put a shadow here. Okay. Okay. Is that what you want to see?
Yep.
Okay.
But the white now
What
has
about
got to
the
have a
shadow on the
shadow
white?
on it.
Yeah, I will, but I've got to wait because it's gonna smear. So
Right.
if I do it now, oh, here, there's a shadow over here, so I can do that.
What colors are you using for that shadow?
I'm using ultramarine blue and CAD red light. My palette is simple. Alizarin crimson, cool, cadmium red, warm. And then I use the earth colors, yellow ochre, burnt sienna, burnt umber. And then the yellows, I like to use a cadmium yellow, and then sometimes a Hansa yellow or maybe a lemon yellow. And then the blues, I use ultramarine, cerulean, and cobalt. That's it. Simple, no big deal. And I think sometimes, of course, the art supply people love to have you buy all those nice colors, but I think sometimes when I get a brand new student and they haven't painted, I only have them buy 4 colors. Works great, and I think it takes a little confusion out of it. Plus, you learn how to mix colors. So
What
Yeah.
4 colors?
just a red, yellow, blue. Just ultramarine, and I like Indian yellow or a cadmium yellow, and alizarin crimson. That's it. And then it's a little harder to make the browns, and so I'll say, okay, then either buy a burnt sienna or a burnt umber, because then that kind of takes that step away, because it is a little harder to make brown. So you can go like crazy just with those colors.
You have to worry about staining,
I never
colors.
gave it. People will say, do you worry about transparent, opaque? No. Staining? No. I don't give it a thought. I got more problems just trying to get it done without trying to. No, I really honestly have never made a study of that. I've just, so anyway, then because we're getting close, right? So I'm going to take some yellow, and I'm going to take a little bit of yellow ochre, ultramarine blue. Again, I use ultramarine blue because of the purple that's in it. Because otherwise, if I were to use the cerulean, so to do this big grass area, I would what I like to do is just, it almost looks like wet into wet, doesn't it? But I can control it. See? I would just keep working that, and I'm mixing the green with ultramarine and yellow. Yeah. See how I think it's just nice and fresh, and I didn't realize how big this thing was. But I didn't think I'd finish it anyway, so. Yeah. See how, look at how nice that, and this might be just the first layer, but see how much fun that is to really get in here, and because again, my color is so wet, I'm not in a big hurry. I'm not over here trying to dig out some color. Well, I just touch it, you know what, I just take this color, and I can just come right in here and touch it, and I've got it immediately. And it's nice and fresh.
You do not carry your stroke until you run out of paint, do you?
You know, and then sometimes I even do it before I run out of paint. You know, you know what I see? What I see a lot of is this.
Right.
Oh, stop!
That's right.
Stop! I don't know, how do my students put up with me? No, we have a great time actually. Yeah, and it is fun. A lot of times I'll stand behind one of my students and kind of, and I'm like a coach. I'll say, more paint, stop, do this, stop, do this. So, darker, darker. What's fun is every once in a while I'll say, you know, I think you got that too dark. Oh, I love it, because then they all go freaked out. He said it, he said it. So. You know, another combination that makes a really wonderful dark is if you take Viridian green, right there, Viridian green, and alizarin crimson. Now, you can make it more to the, can you see it? Look at that. And watch, I'm just going to put it down just so you can see it. Watch this. What? And so, you know, where will I use that? You know, sometimes, well, here's a dark shadow over here. Okay? I'll use it there. Or in a window, or, but it really, really makes a nice dark. And I feel that it has some color. It also has some color. So it's not just a dark.
Windsor red is another one.
Which one?
Windsor red.
I've never used it. I should try it
Green.
sometime.
Oh,
Yeah. Is that good too?
Oh, yeah. Very
Okay.
good.
You want to see one more with the ruler? I can do another one with the ruler? Okay.
Do the quilt.
Well, actually, that's how I would do it. So I'll take a little cobalt blue. And, you know what's great about these riggers? Oh my gosh, look at this. Oh, you can make just branches that are just, oh, look at that. Can you see it?
Yeah.
You know where my little finger was? On the paper, on the paper. So I could kind of guide it a little bit and steady my hand. I'm not so good at this kind of thing. I can do it, but anyway. Control. I know. Okay, so. Oh, you want to be, oh, the quilt, okay. I'll take some cerulean. So actually, see, you know, this is, I can do it like this, see?
That is detailed.
And that's it, and turn it. I've done this so many times I can turn this ruler about any direction I want. Okay? I learned a long time ago, if you notice, I outlined it, didn't I?
What is your right hand doing the painting in?
What's my right hand doing?
Yeah. Is it writing on?
It's this part's writing right on the paper.
Yeah.
It writes right on the paper. But see, now watch, I outlined it, now I come back and color it. When I was a kid, I never wanted art lessons, never took art lessons, hated art lessons, but I love coloring books, but I always stayed perfect in the lines. Never deviated from the lines. I love those black lines in there, so. But that's how I would do that. that's how I would do this quilt, just like that. And again, I could, if I want to have a shadow, I could put the shadow under here. Now, you don't have to do that. This is my style. This is my style. And I see plenty of watercolors and plenty of art that's not done like that. It's absolutely beautiful. I can't do it. I can't do it. It just... So what I would do then to finish off, see, to finish the top of this, roof, yeah, I would not freehand it. And then if I want to, see, I can come back and do some little jump to it, you know, so it's not exactly perfect. They're going to show. You know, another thing I can do with a ruler is that. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, watch this. I'll make a curve. So if I do telephone wires, I don't do them like that. I do them like that. So anyway, and that's all this stuff that, as an illustrator, that I did. I can't tell you what I learned as an illustrator was invaluable. I was in the advertising end, so I worked with products, and I did everything imaginable. I did Gabbert's furniture ads for 20 years, all their furniture with pen and ink and ink wash. I did medical, I don't know, kidney from a heart. But, you know, and then I did some things for the operating rooms, how to do pacemakers and such. But you know, I learned from all of that, and you all should think about this, and I tell my students, don't call it by a name, it's only a shape. It is just a shape. So I could do medical because I didn't have to know what it was. I could reproduce the shape. I don't have to know how a car is built. I could paint a car, draw a car. I could do this building, I don't know how it's built, could care less. You see? It's just a shape. So people come to me and say, well, I can't do a portrait. Yeah, really? Well, sometimes you've not been shown the correct way to do a portrait, but our face is just a bunch of shapes, just a bunch of shapes. And when I do a portrait, a lot of times, I'll do it upside down. Sometimes if I'm really having trouble with it, I turn it upside down. If I'm having trouble with a painting, I turn it upside down. You can see it better, you can see it clearer.
Fred, we got about 4 minutes left.
4? Okay. So really, basically, I think you've seen the overview of this, you know, for the, you know, for this other building. It's red, but I'm not going to make it as red. Okay. Now here's where I can come in, and I'll take. Watch how I can put a little. See, I can put a little red into that like that. So, okay. The other thing that you want to remember is you paint the large area, the large shape, down to the small shape. And sometimes we just get caught up too much. We get caught up too much in the detail part of it. And I love detail, believe me, I love detail. But you do have to get, so the first thing I do is I just lay this base color down, and then I would go over the top of that, and then, you know, think about putting my detail in. Okay? So, again, if I decided to, if I wanted to come back, and let's say I wanted to make this sky a little darker, okay, I could do that. I can come back and do that. So this is just really, I think, just a quick introductory, hopefully to see how I work. You don't have to do my style, but I think I do things that are really important to do